Hi, welcome to Why Australia with Lisa Rossmeissl, owner of Boomerang Escapes and certified Aussie travel specialist. Each Sunday, we come here to share with you just why this is such an incredible destination and why you should visit it. As I mentioned last week, starting season 3 here, Australia has been named the 2020 Destination of the Year. So there is no better time to put this destination into your plans for your vacations for 2021, 2020. That's still both doable. I can plan something for next year, or we can look farther out. It would be a fantastic. So this week, we're going to talk a little bit about the different types of experiences in Australia, kind of an overview, and traveling a little bit, the variety of traveling around Australia you can do. Like I said last week, getting started with season 3, we're going to do some videos that are a little bit of an overview before we dive back into some of the state and territory specifics as far as experiences and things you can include in your itinerary. And again, everything we do here and I do for you is completely custom to you, your family, your travel style, your travel budget, you name it, it's all created for you. So before we get started, as always, we like to share a little Aussie lingo. I have mentioned it in seasons past. Yes, they do speak English, which is one of the fantastic reasons for us to be able to visit there because there is no communication barrier. However, they do have some fun slang, and if you ever hear them get going, especially if you're out doing a pub crawl, you may hear some of these words or their chitter chatter and wonder what it is. So let's educate you a little bit. So we've grabbed our lingo dictionary for Australia here. And this week's phrase is more of a phrase for you. Great galloping goannas. Great galloping goannas is an expression of amazement. And let me tell you, you will be amazed with this destination. Australia is truly incredible. It's the size of the United States. So you have to try it in bits and pieces. You're gonna have to make more than one visit. A taste will not be enough. I can guarantee you will fall in love with this place. So let's talk about discovering Australia and the unforgettable holiday experience you can have. It's such a diverse area, accessible nature, the coastlines, all these incredible things, and rich cultural heritage with the Aboriginals, the oldest indigenous culture that there is out there. So it's just too many things to name, obviously, and that's why I'm coming here every Sunday to tell you why you have to visit this destination. I have been down multiple times. I absolutely love it. I hope you can feel that. I want you to feel the passion. I want you to fall in love with the destination. So there are kind of 6 iconic categories that we can talk about that really bring an experience in Australia together. You can just do one or focus on one area, or we can try and combine the 6 into a single vacation experience. You have your natural wonders, aka wildlife, nature. You have the Outback, you have events, be part of the action that goes on in Australia. The water, the coastal experiences, take a plunge, get wet. There's many ways to do it, even if you're not a great swimmer. Treat your taste buds. It's a great foodie destination, and share the spirit, as I just mentioned, the Aboriginal culture and the history and the things about the Aboriginal. So going into those, let's just take a little more in-depth look at those 6 categories and why, or some things that you would include for those. Of course, one of the biggest draws that we talk about for Australia is the wildlife. They have unique animals only to their destination that are found nowhere else in the world. So you want to see that koala, you want to see that kangaroo, the wombat, the quokka, the Tassie devil. There are just so many animals there because of it being, an island continent and the way things separated back in the ages. They're very unique to this land. But it's not just about the wildlife. There are so many incredible natural experiences, the rock and the scenic value of the land itself, with 600 national parks you can visit, and Australia has like 15 World Heritage Sites. The Great Barrier Reef and Daintree Rainforest that I've mentioned before are just 2 of those 15. I think all the states have one. It's just, those are things that, are possible that could disappear before a lifetime is over. So it's definitely important. And I don't know if you've been watching the news at all with the bushfires and how it's affecting the wildlife. So it's really support the country at this time as they're falling. Now, the Outback. The Outback to me is Australia. Like when you think of what comes to mind in your head, Outback definitely says there. If you want to go back and visit season 2, we go really into depth on the Outback. But this is the sprawling center of Australia, the desert, the sparse, very low populated, really roughing it. But I can't say that I've ever felt more of her spirit than I did when I was doing my 2-week itinerary in the Northern Territory, and really got a feel for that red earth, the rock formations, how isolated it is, and you can disconnect, and you really should. Vacation and escaping your daily life. When you leave work, it is time to turn off the devices, so it will not hurt you if you are down for a day or 2. Trust me. Reconnect. Be a part of the action. Oh my gosh, every state, territory, city, there are so many things that you can arrange your vacation experience around. If you are an opera lover, of course, we can set up a show, seating at the opera. If you are a race fan, horses, cars, you name it, boating, yachting. There is an event going on in Australia that we can time. Sports enthusiasts, I know that probably one of the things I book the most for the US market is actually the tennis tournament, the Melbourne, in January. That seems to be very popular, but do remember January's peak season, so we need to plan ahead. I highly recommend at least 9 months out when looking to do travel within peak season. I'm not saying it can't be done in shorter time. It just is to your benefit when it comes to costs and availability of the best properties and things like that. Oh, there's so many other things as far as events, and even simple things like the markets. Every city, major city, Adelaide, Melbourne, the Salmonic, I'm going to mispronounce it, sorry, but in Tasmania, have incredible markets, and we can time your stay so that you can experience these markets, get a taste and feel, take home some product from Australia. And of course, taking the plunge. What do I mean taking the plunge? The coastal experiences. Australia basically is a large island. So of course, you're going to want to have some water experiences. Whether you're going in and doing diving, snorkeling, swimming, kayaking, glass bottom boats, swimming with some of the animals. There's lots of things. So there you're combining the animal experience with your water experience. You can just go out on boats, yachts, do the other water sports. A lot of the resorts will include your paddleboard, your Kobe cats, So there's lots of opportunity to get wet and discover the world beneath the surface. And it's truly incredible. I can tell you that swimming with things like the whale sharks, or doing your first ever scuba dive, which I did at the Great Barrier Reef, and I'm terrified, let me tell you, terrified, but the instructors were so incredible and got me to actually get my first dive in. So it's definitely, you want to try the water, whether you're riding on it or swimming beneath it. It's definitely something to include in your Australia experiences. And yeah, and we'll go back to the Aboriginal culture, sharing that spirit. There are many opportunities, museums to see their art, tours to learn about how they use the natural environment, learn about their food, learn about their medicine, the things that they did. It's very fascinating. I actually do love the artwork. I collect some of the artwork. Have brought that home, but it's great to have an experience like that. Learn how to throw a boomerang. I mean, it's all sorts of things like that, but it's just incredible, the history. And of course, you'll notice that a lot of the things and the names you see that seem hard to pronounce are from the Aboriginal heritage of this beautiful country. So could definitely consider an Indigenous experience, a Dreamtime walk possibly, learning how to do some dot art. There's lots of opportunities to feel the culture of Australia. And last but not least, tantalize your taste buds. Australia has an amazing food culture. Just about every city, and they're all completely different. Every city has its own unique personality, but it's also filled with wine regions. And the wine is absolutely incredible. And I'm not just saying this because I've been down there so much. Actually, I've just really fallen in love with the Australia wines. And I'm not a huge wine drinker, so I think that's probably why, because they seem not to bother me in the head as much as some of the things I've tried from other destinations. But there's wine and food. There's even going and getting your own food, like going out and harvesting the oysters and chucking them and eating them that night for your dinner. So lots of opportunities and restaurants that are very much farm to table. So if you're looking for that experience, farm to table, and if you're just looking for great restaurants and bar scenes, there's beer tours, wine tours, food tours. Lots of those can be included, or if you're just looking for some dining recommendations in each of the cities, there's some unique experiences that can be done there as well. So like I said, all of those you can really take one of those as a focus. If you're really into culture, if you're really into water sports, you can focus on that, but then still add some of those other things and really get a taste of what makes Australia such an incredible experience and destination to explore. And speaking about exploring, as far as traveling, there again, you can explore this breathtaking outback adventures, epic cross-country train journeys, four-wheel driving. It's just amazing, and I would highly recommend, if you have the time, there are the train journeys that go east to west and the north to south. Four-wheel drive is available in several areas, and we already talked when we talked about the water experiences, actually getting on the boats, like being up north and going out and seeing the horizontal falls, or by air. There are some things that really I suggest you're going to get in the helicopter, get in the seaplane. The heart-shaped reef and the Great Barrier Reef is one of them. There's just so many things to do and see from a variety. Or why not hop in a hot air balloon and go over the nation's capital? You're not going to do that many places, but here you can do that. So there's lots of ways to get around. Six main experience types to include. Again, what we're going to do is we're going to take we're going to take you and what you love and immerse it into your Australian experience. And you will have a fantastic escape that you remember for a lifetime, and hopefully choose to go back again. Because as we mentioned before, the best way to do this, especially if you only have 2 weeks and you're not at that stage or not at that level where you can have the freedom to take 3 or 6 week trip, plan and go back every couple years and do the 2 weeks and just kind of work your way around. It's the same way if you came here, you're not going to see all of the US in 1 2 week visit. It's just not possible. So until next Sunday, have a beautiful week. This is Lisa Rossmeissl, owner of Boomerang Escapes, your certified Aussie travel specialist with Why Australia. Take care.